Everybody, and welcome to the side. So, and thank you very much for stopping by. Today, we are going to see the raising issue in, like you can say, Kenya. What happened exactly over there? So, welcome back to your YouTube channel, the side. So, today we are diving into a significant and unfolding story from Kenya: the widespread protest against rising taxes. We will break down what's happening and why it's happening and what it could mean for the future of Kenya. As we all know, everyone's phones have popped up with the notification of this news of the deadliest protest in Kenya over tax rises by the government. 5 people were so dead in this protest, an outcry in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, where dozens of common were triggered by the bizarre rules of Kenya government. As we all know, mostly we don't get the news from Kenya because it doesn't make a lot of headlines like other countries such as the US and China so far. I have already made a video on many current affairs topics, and I am Sahil, the public speakers who love to talk on different topics, and by just listening to my conversation, you will also able to improve your communication skills and English skills so far, as I can say. So, like today we are going to jump into what happened exactly in Kenya, the Kenya's capital, Nairobi. So first of all, I believe to have been told the truth to my viewers. What have I observed exactly after reading the news yesterday? What was my reaction to this news, and more things we are eager to learn in this video. So yeah, please stay tuned. Fasten your seat belts. We are going to dive or jump into this massive topic. So first, we will try to understand this topic segment-wise, section-wise, so you guys will get a proper overview of this issue. So let's start with the section on the background of Kenya. First, we need to know the background of Kenya. First, let's set the stage. Kenya, a vibrant country in East Africa, has been experiencing economic challenges recently. To address budget deficit and increase government revenue, the Kenya government introduced several new tax measures. This includes higher VAT on essential goods and services, increased fuel taxes, and controversial housing levy. Now, I would rather prefer to jump into the knowledge of what is the main issue than what is take rise exactly in Kenya. But this is true. Most of the African countries are struggling with the high, tax rises, and the governments are not even showing them mercy. That's what we exactly have seen. Like many countries like Sudan, there are many countries who have faced, a lot of deficits, a lot of disadvantages, and even there are many countries who have declared themselves completely drought. And recently, the climate change report has also proven that African countries contribute only 1.few% carbon dioxide into this climate, and these are the countries and continents, the ones who pay the highest amount of lives, who pays the highest amount of, you can say, deaths in African nations and African countries. Also shocked me after hearing what exactly happened in Kenya, and how people are paying for the high tax rises that has been, installed by the government and that has been implemented by the government. So let's start to understand what is exactly tax rise in Kenya. That's what we can call financial bill as well. Many of you may have been knowing this, term by this financial bill or something. Maybe a lot of people may know these things by financial bill or something. So let's directly jump into it. Kenya has been dealing with substantial economical challenges, including a growing national debt and a need to finance public services and infrastructure projects. Number one, the government under President William Ruto introduced a financial bills aimed at increasing tax revenue to address budget deficits. So first of all, they have really introduced some of the, you can say, highest tax rises ever in Kenya, and even the government knows that Kenya is dealing with one of the most difficult times ever in Kenya so far. So what they have done, they have really applied some of the, you can say, and they have risen the tax rates in this country. So there was a one common person, so I have heard about this person through the BBC News. That person was saying, who else in this world put a tax on bread? The tax now on bread approximately 56 or some percent. Even when you are going to buy some sanitary pads, those women who are unable to get sanitary pad, which should be considered as a basic human right, these women have to pay 20% more price for the sanitary pads. And even we know that these African nations are struggling with a huge financial deficit, with huge inflation, and many of them might be into hyperinflation and hyperinflation problem, and I think Kenya is one of them. So key tax are, measure. First of all, value-added tax, VAT increases. The VAT on essential goods such as fuel was increased, leading to higher price for consumers. Housing levy and new housing levy was introduced, requiring employers to contribute a percentage of salaries towards a normal housing fund. Excise duty on fuel. Higher excise duties were imposed on petroleum products, further increasing the cost of transportations and goods. So let's now continue to the section 2. The first sections we covered, where I explained to you exactly what is rises in Kenya, tax rises. Many of you might have been knowing this fact by financial bill or something. It is all right. Both of the things are same. So you don't need to get confused between these two things. Both things are same. So now let's jump into the number 2. So the number 2 is the trigger. Now let's talk about the trigger. these tax hikes have hit ordinary like Kenya's hard, especially as they come at the time when the cost of living is already high. Many Kenyans feel these taxes are excessive and unfair, disproportionately affecting the poor and middle class. These frustrations boil over into protest. So even though there are many experts and even the economists of Kenya, they have clearly made this statement on the Guardian newspaper today. I was reading. They said these Kenyans, these young people, these Gen Zs have their whole rights, have their rights to defend themselves against this government cruelty, where they have put this much taxes, not even on the bread, fuel, and even the sanitary pads. Who else and what kind of government does this kind of activities? Like with its own people, after being known that these people are absolutely going through hyperinflation problem in their country, then why do they exactly do that? So the protests erupted across major cities, including Nairobi, Mombasa, and Kisumu. Thousands took to the streets, holding placards, chanting slogans, and demanding the government to reconsider these tax increases. The protests have been largely peaceful, but there have been some clashes with the police, leading to arrests and injuries. And I think there are 5 people have been shot dead into this conflict. And when these people were trying to storm the parliament, because they really targeted the parliament, which is situated and located in the capital of Kenya, Nairobi, when they really stormed and tried to storm the you can say the parliament of Kenya, there were many people who came forward and said, like, we're not gonna let you do that. And there are police officials and even the government officials clearly say, when you put one step further, we may put bullets into your heads. That's what they exactly said. And even in many videos and even in many you can say pictures and wallpaper, you may see that there are many security you can say diplomats who have been deployed to rescue and who have been deployed to protect the parliaments of the country to not getting stormed by this protesters and Gen Zs. They are allowed to shoot and do open fire without even hesitation, and they can do open fire on protesters. That's what we say. We have understood all context. Now we have to understand economic context. It's important to understand the broader economic context. Kenya, like many other countries, grappling with debt and economic crisis exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. The government argues that these taxes are crucial for public services and infrastructure development, but many citizens are questioning whether there could be alternative solutions. Economic and political implication is also very important. Economic impact: the tax increases have significant economic implications, potentially leading to higher inflation and reduced consumer spending. The unrest and uncertainty could also affect investor confidence and economic stability in Kenya. Political ramification that we need to focus on. The protests reflect broader dissatisfaction with the government handling of economic issues, potentially impacting the political landscape. The situation has put pressure on the administration to find a balance between necessary fiscal measures and public welfare. That is the same thing going on in, you can say, Argentina, where but the thing is opposite clearly, because JVMLI was elected to reduce the inflation in Argentina, which hasn't been very reduced yet. But there are people who are saying this inflation may increase by 2% per month, and JVMLI has to see a lot of stuff in upcoming days where he he dollarized its country by 50%. He dollarized the euro by 50%, and he reduced the value of euro by 50%. And many of them cannot even afford the proper housing and proper schooling, proper education in that particular place, Argentina. What happened here? Government knows exactly, and why. That's why the president of Kenya has been elected for reducing the high inflation rates in Kenya, giving the job opportunities to the youngsters, giving the job universities to the Gen Z. Kenya has also put its broader mindset about the LGBTQ communities, where they say clearly that we're not going to give a right to them. And the coming weeks and months will be crucial in determining the direction to the countries will take. We will keep you updated as situations unfold. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more updates on important global issue. So this is the very important you can say things going on now in Kenya. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow us on on YouTube. Just like it, share it with your friends, and updates and discussion. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, that what do you think and what are the other things you have read related to this topic. I may have forgotten many things to mention here, because it is not possible to mention all of these things in just 6 minutes video, so it's all right. So we would love to hear you. Thank you very much for stopping by.